Good morning, everyone. This is Bernie Oswald. I'm the assistant principal at New Haven High School and also the tech director for our district. Sorry I couldn't be here this morning. I had an appointment that I could not reschedule. Just want to make a quick video just explaining kind of what we're doing here. That's a hybrid type learning and the successes that we found with it. So what we have is we call it individualized math. And essentially what it is it's like a flipped math, but we've also incorporated a mastery approach and a self-paced approach to it. So before getting to that, though, I just wanted to share some stuff about our district. You know, historically, we've had our students struggle with math at the high school level, especially in algebra. I'm sure several of you have that same issue, and we've tried other interventions, and honestly, we found some success with them, but never anything drastic. You know, we've been able to really increase the scores of most of our other subject areas, but math for the last 5+ years has just really remained stagnant. So we knew we needed a different way of teaching, a different way of educating our students. About 2 years ago, one of our math teachers, John Hepper, and myself actually sat down and started implementing a flipped approach, a flipped instruction approach in his class. Long story short, it was a disaster. Maybe not a disaster, it just did not go well. And so last year we kind of took a break from that, kind of reflected on it, and then at the end of the school year last year and over the summer, John, myself, and the rest of our math department sat down a few times and really just came up with a different way of teaching our kids, and that's where we found this individualized math. So what is individualized math? Essentially, it's the flip model, but again, we use the self-paced approach and allow for or require mastery learning. A couple of things here, each chapter students get a pretest. If they get an 80% or higher, they can actually move right on to the next chapter. We've had several students that got done with the entire year's worth of material just recently, and they're moving on to Algebra 2 or Geometry. So they have a chance of actually earning 2 math credits in 1 year, which is pretty exciting. If they don't get an 80%, at least now they know the areas they need to focus on, the areas that they're strong in, and they can spend their time working on the areas that they need the most help with. As they go through the material in the chapter, they actually have to request to take a test. We do offer a pacing guide to them, and I'll explain more about that later. But when they're ready for a test, they come up to the teacher, they tell them, or have to show them the notes they've taken, they have to show them the practice problems they've done, talk to the teacher a little bit, and prove that they're ready for the test. This has been real helpful to increase the amount of feedback we're giving our students, and actually what we're finding is probably about half the students that request a test are denied and asked to go back and do some more work to prove that they're ready for it. The point of that is we want them to really take it when they're ready. So it's helped eliminate a lot of test anxiety. And then if kids take it and don't get a 70%, they have to go back and do some more practice. And again, they tend to know what areas they need to practice most with. When they're ready, they take it again and move on. The day-to-day, it's a typical flipped, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with. Students watch videos at home, or at least they're supposed to. They take notes, they come in, and they do the work in class. Of course, now they have support of the teacher and their peers. We do have class sets of tablets in the room that they can watch videos if they need them as well. We actually do use ExamView for our tests, so that they actually take their tests on the computers as well. We have we spent a lot of time at the beginning of the school year, 2 or 3 weeks, just teaching students how to learn this way, how to take proper math notes. It was the whole scaffolding process, walking them through it, teacher-led, then student with support, and then the students were doing it on their own. And I really think that was very important to making this be successful for us. Of course, the increased resources, the kids have 24/7 access to these instructional videos, more time with the teacher, more time with peers. In fact, parents have called me and said that they appreciate the videos because they watch them at home, and now they can actually help their son or daughter with their math because they've kind of got a little refresher themselves. We talked about how the students are ready or request exams and have to prove that they're ready. Moving forward, also, we do offer the yearly pacing guide, and essentially it's to get done with this course by the end of the school year. Here's when you should take each of the tests. Here's when you should work on this chapter, and so on. We do kind of work in a little bit of fudge room. For example, if students are supposed to be done with Chapter 7 by the end of the first semester, we tend to have that done before Christmas break, so they still have a couple of extra weeks to catch up. The whole power, how we keep grades, because we have to be able to show that the students not only the scores for the work they've done, but also we have to somehow calculate how far along they are. So when a test is supposed to be taken on a certain day, that's the day it goes live in PowerSchool. So if a student is behind pace and hasn't taken that test yet, it goes in as a 0, because parents need to know that they're behind pace. However, we do give incompletes. So if a student is behind pace at the end of a semester, we don't give them an F, we give them an incomplete, and then when they do finish that semester's work and take the final, we will go back, and actually we're doing that quite a bit right now. We'll go back and change that semester grade to generally a B, because obviously they have to get a 70% or higher on their exams. The great thing is, though, we have students who haven't gotten B's and C's in math since elementary school, so they're finding success. They may be a little behind pace, but again, they actually understand the material. We do offer retakes. Again, the retake will replace the grade, because we want our grades to reflect what students understand, not how they did on a particular day on a particular test. The last thing on here is we do intend on offering an extended school year. Pretty much meaning in June we're going to have a math teacher at the school 2 hours a day, 4 to 6 weeks, and students that are not finished will get to come in, and we'll schedule them. They'll have to be required to be there and all that, but they'll be able to come in and finish the material so they can get credit and move on to the next class next year. Some reflections. It's not perfect. We are finding a lot of good results. You can see on here, and I'm happy to share data, but our average test scores went up 20%, and I don't mean 20% growth. I mean they were 60% on average, and now they're 80s from last year to this year. And this is across our pre-algebra, algebra, and geometry classes. What I find is actually the most, or the best data, and the thing I'm most proud of, is the number of students, or percentage of students, actually getting A's, B's, and C's on exams, which is showing mastery, is going. It used to be 40%, and now we're around 80. Again, kids are doing great. They're actually understanding it for the first time, and it's been real successful. We've got rid of, homework. Their homework is to watch the videos and take notes, and they get checked for that, but we don't give homework points. They do get points for taking notes, but then most of their points that aren't from tests are actually from just effort, doing work in the classroom. So we've got rid of that whole, homework cheating that was going on, and it's become so epidemic nowadays with smartphones. And of course, just increased student accountability and feedback. Again, not perfect. We've got more than half our kids that are behind pace. Most of them are only a chapter or two and will probably get done by the end of the school year, but we do anticipate probably about 25% of our students needing to go to that extended school year. And yeah, we do have kids that are severely behind pace. They are probably not going to get credit for the whole year, but they'll probably at least get credit for semester 1. But these are kids that have historically failed math anyhow. So we're doing our best with them, but it's not perfect. And then we got student and parent misunderstandings. We've had several parent nights and letters get sent home and everything else. And as we all know, parents don't always come. And students kind of use that to make excuses. But once we talk to them and explain what's going on, every single parent we've talked to has been supportive. So that's been great with the parent communication. Last, I'm going to leave this up here just for a quick second. I just made a quick tiny URL for this presentation if you want to check it out. It's tiny.cc/NHHS Math Prez. I'll link the video that I'm making right now on here, example of our site. And then, if you want to talk shop, I love talking about our profession and what we're doing to change education and better reach our students. So, hey, give me a call, email me. I'm going to go check and take a look at all the other presentations when I get back this afternoon. And the last thing is we're going to talk to Jennifer Parker Moore, Jen Harding, or Christy Heineman. The 3 ladies came out about a month ago to take a look at our program. They gave some great feedback, offered some great suggestions. In fact, Christy came out last week and worked with our 612 math department to kind of help align our curriculum. They suggested some great things about using social learning, some learning management systems like Blackboard, and we completely intend on implementing those. We're just not ready yet. So when we're there, that's something we're going to definitely add. So thanks for your time. Again, contact me if you have questions or just want to talk. I'd be more than happy to talk with you.